Okay, so today I'll talk about the basic syntax so that it will be easy for you to.
How did you get that SRC to
Sorry,
this tool? How did you get this SRC, that particular task?
one second. My voice is coming. Yeah, tell me, how did I get?
How did you get this SRC, the tab you opened
Yeah,
in?
yeah, just see, I'll do that. I'll remove this project.
Right click.
So last time
Okay.
also I think I told you once you click on new Java project, give some name.
Okay.
So, sample project, something like that. You click enter. Once you click on this, if you click on this one, right, automatically this src will be created. So this is the
Oh,
default
okay.
folder which gets created, and then you can create a class. So class is something like syntax example, and by default it goes to the package. This I'll tell you about package also today, only I'll cover. uh, the main thing is whatever code you write, right, you need to write in uh, inside a class only. This is the feature of object oriented programming. So
Mm.
there are many features of object oriented programming, and Java follows object oriented programming. So the features are something like abstraction, encapsulation, uh, inheritance, and polymorphism. I think these four are the main features of object-oriented programming, and that's what Java follows. What are these? Is abstraction is something related to hiding the implementation. So in Java, you will be seeing that most of the time, right, you are using the inbuilt libraries. Just like in the previous example, I had shown you, using the thread class to do some work and all. So
Yeah.
the implementation wise, right, there could be many situations where you will be using the implementation of Java. You don't have to write the code for that, and you can simply use it. So abstraction is something related to writing using the inbuilt APIs without knowing the internal implementation. And encapsulation is something like integrating the data into a same class. I mean, something like, what I say, wrapping of the data. So what wrapping means, whatever you write, you need to write inside your class only. You cannot have any code outside the class. So this is kind of what I'll say, the wrapping. So suppose you writing like int x, some variable, and then public void display x, and you display the value of x here, right? So these two things, this is called the member variables, and this is called member methods. So what is a member? So these two are member of class. Syntax example. So one second. So int x and display x is both are the member variables. I mean, you can say member variables and member methods. Both belongs to this particular class. Which class? Syntax example class, and it belongs to the both one. I mean, both belongs to the same class. So this is what we call it as a encapsulation. So binding the data, I mean, encapsulating the data and the methods and everything inside the same class. So you cannot have anything other than the variable and method. You can't write any syntax outside this. So you have to either write in a method, or you can declare it as a member variable. So that is the rule of Java. Third thing is inheritance. And inheritance is something like inheriting the property of upper classes. So upper classes means, I would say, super class. You can write one class, something like class, I think that day I was showing that animal, right? So
Hmm.
it will have this public void make sound, and so you can make it as an abstract also. So you can make like abstract class, and then you can write class some animal name, and once you do that, you need to, you can inherit the properties of these make sound, or suppose it has some method, something like public void show, something like that, showing something. So this class you can use it here even though you are not defining anything, right? So once you create the main method, suppose I'm writing here main method, and here you can use it that method without, no, there is no show method inside the cow, right? So I can do something like, one second, Rahul is calling. One second. He called me. He thought it's 8 p.m. his time. Did I write 8 a.m. only, right? In the message? Shweta?
Sorry?
I
What?
I had told 8 a.m. only, right? Yeah, I think he understood.
Yeah, 8 a.m. only.
Yeah, he understood wrong. Okay, anyways. Okay, so I'll write object and say cow dot. I can obviously write make sound. Also cow dot show I can do. So as you can see here, even if there is no method as a show defined in cow, we are able to call this method. So if I here I'll okay. So if I run this, it will run both. Okay.
How did you run that?
No, I did not run it. Yes, just 1 second. I'll tell you. Oh, this
You got something with
this is the
Doraemon.
public class, right? So I have to write this in public class. You can't have main method in non-public class. So just nothing. Right click on this on your screen only. Right click. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you'll get all these bunch of options. You can go to run as, and in run as you can click on this Java application.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
see cow making some sound and making showing something, right? So as you can see, there is no method defined in here showing something, but still I am able to use that, right? So this
Yeah.
public void show, whatever has been defined in this is called the super class. So this is you can call super class, or or parent class. Yeah, these two I think you can call it as a superclass. So this is what about this one, what I say, inheritance, and even polymorphism has been also covered here. The polymorphism is something like, suppose I want to create public void make sound, and now as you can see here, I have a method as a I'll remove this public abstract. Now it's not abstract, a simple class, class animal. It has two methods. It has show method and it has make sound method. Okay, and inside make sound I have written something like animal sound, right? So the signature of the method is something like that: public void make sound. So void is the return type of the method. I'll tell you about the syntax. So this method is written here, okay, and the cow which extends the animal method, that also has the same, exactly the same method as you can see here, right? But the content inside this is different. Maybe it is doing some other work or something, right? So this is called the method overriding. Okay, so method
What is
overriding.
this extends? Divakar?
Sorry.
No, for class cow we have extends animal, right? What is this extends?
Yeah, that's what this syntax, what it does is, this is called the keywords, extend keywords. This keyword tells that this cow class, so class cow, this is the class cow name, extends animal. That means it is telling that I'm inheriting the properties of class animal. So whatever the properties of class animal is there, now that will be mine too, and I can easily access those things. So suppose even if I have something like int var equal to 100, okay, so int var equals to 100, I can easily show this here also. So as you can see here, even
This
though there is no variable as a var inside the class cow, I am able to print it. But if I remove this animal, this one, it will say what is this var you are talking about. Okay, so this is actually
okay.
this something like you are inheriting. So this is, it is telling that var cannot be resolved. But if I make it something
Yeah,
like extends animal, I am telling okay, you inherit the properties of these things as well. So now it's see making
yeah.
sense. And if I run it now, it will print this var variable 100. It is printing, though there is no var variable inside this class. So we are inheriting the property. Now the
One
polymorphism
second,
is,
Divakar.
sorry.
1 second. 1 second. I just wanted to confirm. So int var is equal to 100 is like you're declaring var as a variable of integer at its value
Yeah,
100 in
you
the
can name
class
yeah,
animal,
yeah,
and you are wanted to print that you're as you're inheriting the class animal in class cow,
mm-hmm.
you wanted to print the var value here,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Is that what? Okay. So
yes.
and this is the syntax for printing the var variable value.
Yeah, this is a syntax to extend the class. So extending means you are getting the properties, you are inheriting, just like whatever the upper classes had all these things, we
Yeah.
can inherit
Hmm.
these things. Okay, so
Yeah.
so
Got it.
yeah, so that's what it makes it. Now the question will be something like, so even the show method, right? What I was seeing here, that we created the object of class cow, cow, right? So we have created the this one. We are calling this method cow.make sound, which was already there, right? So as you can say, make sound is already here. But as you can
Okay.
see here, cow.show method is not there, right? There is no show method here inside this class, right? How we are able to access it? Because it is inheriting that. So if I remove this again, you will see it will start giving me error that cow.show, there is no method defined in your cow class, right? So I cannot call the show method. But if I extend it, if I extend the animal, you will see that it is able to, this is not giving any kind of error. This is saying no, nothing is, no problem at all, because Now I'm extending the animal, and animal has that method, right?
Yeah.
So I'm
Correct.
inheriting that
Yeah.
property. Now there is one a question here is that is called the overriding. You're overriding the feature, something like, say, I have a method already defined in class, this one, public void make sound, right, in animal class, right? And I'm printing here something like animal sound here, right? So I'm printing this method, this value inside this method. What if I write the same, exactly the same method with different content in their child class, right? What do you think
Yeah.
that when I call this, one second. So what do you think that when I call this cow dot make sound, right? Which one it will be
Hmm.
called? It will be called this one, the parent one, or its own? What?
I think the parent one.
Yeah, that is the main question. Actually, it will not print the parent one. The reason is here what you see, right? The syntax for creating the object. This is the syntax for creating the object of a class. So this is how we create the now what actually it is happening here is we are writing cow, which is a class name. So sorry, so this is generally the syntax for the writing class name. Then we we call it as an object name, whatever you want to give, then new, then the class name. So this is actually the syntax for creating the object. So okay, so what is so cow is a class name, and this is, you can say, the object, something like, you can say cow object. Okay, so this is your object what you are using for calling the method.
So this cow object is like our own defined name. Anything we can keep.
No, we have to define
The
all these
object
things in
name.
the main method only. You cannot have the implementation part. Implementation, I would say that uses part, right? Where you are using, where you're creating the object part, right? You can have inside a method
Okay.
only. You can't have outside the method. So as it is a
Okay.
starting point, right? I'm writing inside the main method as it's a starting point. You can do something like this also. You can remove this one from here. You can write something like it's always good to do like this, main app, something like that. You give a name, and inside that you write these code. So it's always separate thing, and it will be calling these classes. So it will behave as the same thing. I mean, here you have a one class, syntax example. Okay, and anyway, this is not needed anymore, as you can see here. So we didn't need this one. One second. We'll just convert this as a animal. Okay, so you can have, again, you can, what you can do, you can create one more class. You make it as a cow class, and you remove this code from here. Okay, you put inside the cow class.
Okay. Different methods for, yeah.
Yeah, you can,
Okay.
it's always good to do like this. So
Yeah.
public class animal is there. So these details we have in an animal. In cow, you can extend that animal class. You can write this method. Now what is the problem here is undefined, what is telling.
No, you haven't declared cow object, no?
Yeah, here it is there, right? This one. So
There is a declaration for cow object.
so this is the class, right? This cow extends this one, right? This is what I have written. So
Yeah, correct. But the word cow object is there, itself is there, sir, right? So where did you declare this? Line number 12, the
yeah, this
object
one.
name, the cow object.
No, this is, that's what, this is the variable name. This is something like variable. You can have x also, you can have xyz also. This is the
Yeah.
variable name.
Do you need to declare that
No, no,
XYZ?
no, no. This is a just, it is something like int x equals to 10. So x is a variable.
Okay.
Then xyz is also a variable. So this is the
Okay.
object
That
name.
itself
Whatever
is
you want to give,
declaration.
you can give.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, got it.
So, but you can have xyz dot show and then xyz dot make sound. Yeah. So as you can see here, I am able to what is his problem? Oh, sorry.
How do we check syntax check?
Sorry. Yeah, I'll
How
tell.
do we see a syntax check?
Syntax check. You need to know, how to where to write what code. The thing about the syntax is, as I told you, everything has to be inside some class. Either it's a main app, or you can see either it's a cow or something. Second thing is that whatever your public class is there, right? In one Java file, there can be only one public class, and whatever the public class name you are giving, the same name has to be the file name as well. So as you can see here, cow.java, if I make it something like abc .java, it will start giving me error that okay, abc cannot be your Java class because your public class is here cow, so it can be cow only. If I rename it to this one here, it will start giving me error here. See, it is telling that the
Yeah.
whatever the public class name is there, right? In Eclipse, it will
Okay.
prompt you error if you hover to that one, right? You are hover your mouse to there.
So in such a case, we'll have one main app and one main method and two other
Yes,
methods.
yes, yes, yes.
Always we have only three, right? Excuse me.
Always you have.
Always we have only three methods. One is for main method, and one is for public class method,
Mm-hmm.
and one is the name with the public class name, the cow. That
Yeah,
method.
so yeah, right. So methods, the thing is, method cannot be written independently, right? All the functions is a part of some class. And if I say something like, animal, so animal is a class, right? And you cannot have your this make sound or show. You can write another method also. It's not like, you can have something like public void uh, do some work, maybe some, and you can write something like doing work. So now as a part of you can say this do work. So do work is again one more method what I have declared here. So it's a part of animal, right? So you can do something like here, you can create the object of animal also. There is no harm in that. You can say animal a equals to new animal, and you can call a dot do work. So see, so understand this thing, right? Why I am able to call
Okay.
the do work? Because I have created the object of animal. So to call any method or to access any variable, right, we need a dot suppose var also. I can do something like value of var is a dot var. So this actually what it is doing, it is telling that okay, this do work method, this variable var, these two are belongs to a class named as an animal. So once I create the object means the concrete thing what you have created. This is the template, right? The class template. So once you create this animal a equals to new animal, so this animal has these things, right? Animal make sound, show, and all these things. In fact, you can call these things as well. You can call a dot show, you can call a dot make sound, right? So these are the properties of the class animal, right? And in memory, this is something like this what happens inside the memory. Sorry. So there will be a var variable, okay, with data 10 or whatever I have put it. Then there will be a method do work, and then there will be show, and then there will be make sound. Okay, so these things are there, and it is a type of, it's a type of animal class, and the variable name is a. Okay, so if I create one more class, one more object, then again the same thing will be here. Okay, so suppose I give it is a name B, which is also a type of animal only, that can have their different data or different behavior. So it's like something like that you can do again. I can again create animal B equals to new animal, and I can call it again. I mean, I can call it as a
My
B
God.
dot do work. This will be separate from that one. Okay, so whenever you create this one, this line has a very significant meaning, and it does the same thing, like, it creates a variable as a name B, as I showed you, right? And whatever the data is there inside these things, right, methods or data, it'll create into the memory of that particular object. Is it okay?
Okay. Yeah.
So same thing happens here also, cow, and as you can see there that the cow is extending the class animal, and that's why here even cow's object, that is xyz, do work it can call, though there is no method as a do work inside the cow, as you can see here, right? There is no method, right, do work, but still I am able to call it because I am extending the animal class, right? So this is
Okay.
the inheritance.
So if we don't extend the animal for this class cow,
Hmm.
so can we create this animal.java method?
Animal.java. I did
Class?
not. I comment. Remove this one. Now, what do you want?
No, so still the syntax is correct now?
No, no, no. It will not be correct. Here, the problem will come. See here. It is saying that show method is not there. It is telling that do work is not there. Yeah, because that is true, right? It is
Okay.
only make sound.
Yeah.
So I will be
So,
able to.
okay, this is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that. So my question is like, so we have this above cow.java, we have animal.java, right? On
Yes.
the
This
left
one.
side.
This one. Yes.
So yeah, here in the main class, we are not extending the animal cow to animal. So
Yes.
can we still have this animal.java class? We cannot, right?
No, 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 no. If you are not extending, if your cow class is not extending,
Mm-hmm.
you can't write something like here. See, as you can see here, it is giving error, right? You can't have the access to animal. To get the access of animal, you have to extend the class. Otherwise, you won't be able.
Yeah, got it.
Won't
Yeah,
be able to.
yeah, that's what. Okay.
It's something just like, my grandfather has some wealth or something, right? If he gives me the access to that, then only I can, use that. That's just like, inherit properties, what you say, right? So something similar to,
Yeah.
exactly similar to that. In some cases they don't give you the things. So there is a certain things what I would like to cover here only, it will be good. So what if suppose the animal class, right, don't want to get this show methods to be extended by the any other classes. So as now, if I extend the animal class, right, cow extend animal,
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to in main that you can see here, cow, I'm creating the object and I'm calling show, make sound and do work. Here I'm calling the show
It
also,
will show
right?
syntax error.
Wait 1 second. So no, right now I'm extending animal, so it should not so, right? It should be perfectly fine, right? Make sound and do work and all these things. Let me try once. So yeah,
Because,
it
okay, no. Show, does this show is there in animal.java?
yes, it is there.
Okay, okay, okay. Now it's fine. Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
But
this way we are
now,
right. Okay.
now suppose I want something like I want to others whoever is inheriting me, right? So animal class
Hmm.
wants something like whoever is inheriting me can use this method, can use this method, but not this method. So how we can achieve that?
Why?
You no no suppose there
What
is
is
a
the question? What is the question?
no the requirement is something like I want to
Mm-hmm.
leave that method. I'll write one more method. Suppose public void uh, or I will write something. Better I'll give you the example, then you will understand. Suppose I write new class, something like manager, okay, and one class will be employee. So in manager class, I have something public void. So employee details.
So you said we should have only one public class, right? So now we have many public classes.
In one single file
Immediate.
I was talking about. See, this is a separate.
Oh, in one. Okay.
This is separate file. This is
Okay.
separate file. I can
Okay.
have another class here. So as you can see here, class ABC, I can write it. There is no problem.
Okay.
But this can't be public. If I write it public here, this will give me error that only one public file. So if you're writing
Yeah.
public file, better define in your own Java file. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Method we can have numerous, no problem. So public void show employee details, and then public void see date of joining or something like that.
Is the syntax that new date?
Yeah, I'll tell you. It's for getting the current date, right? You can create the date object, something like date dt. You can put it as a new date, and it belongs to Java util, as I told you, package. I'll tell you about this important package later. So you
Okay.
can call it something like dt dot to a string, so it will print you the current date, whatever, like that. Okay, I'm just giving the
Okay.
sample example. So suppose you have a class as a manager, and it has three functionality a manager can do. It can see the details of the employees, right? When he joined, what is there, this one and that. They can see the salary also. Something like maybe whatever it is, let it be 5,000 or 50,000, whatever. Okay, and the date of joining. Now I have written this employee class. Suppose it extends manager class. Okay, it extends the manager class. Okay, and I'll write here only the main method. So I will use this main app only. Let's remove these things. As you can see, it is extending the employee, and here I'll write some other method also. Public void mm, show assigned work item. Okay, so employee class extending the manager class, and it has a method show assigned item, but even manager has these details, right? So I should have all these access as well, right? So
Yeah.
as a employee I can see everything, right? So here if I write employee e equals to new employee. Okay, so following, right, what I'm writing. So e dot show assigned work, e dot get joining, then e dot salary, e dot show employee details. right? So all four things I can see here, right? So if I run it, I'll be showing work items. Your date of joining is Sunday, whatever time it is. Employee salary is this one, and show employee details, right? So all these things
Yeah.
I'm able to say this. Now, being a
No, why it is not running the Java, sorry, cow and animal files here when you run?
because I removed that code. See, this is the main method which starts, from here.
Oh, okay. So whatever whatever the main file contains, that will be
Just
printed.
see, that's what I mean. See, understand the flow of the program. Actually, your program starts here every time. So if I write the
Okay.
first statement here, one second. Okay, I'm
Okay,
starting
that will be the
here.
first year.
Yeah, then you are calling this method, so it will come here. So you can write something like I am inside method. You can write this method name here. You will call this method, it will finish. It will again come back here. It will again come back here. Then after that, this line will execute. Then this line
Yeah,
will
got
execute
it.
this, and here it will end. And so now if you run it, you will say I'm starting here, then I'm inside that method, it went there, did some work, then come back, did some work, come back, and this end, right? So there is nothing, there is no other
Yeah.
code, right? So how can it will call? If I call it here,
Okay.
understood, right? So if I call it here, then it will go c dot suppose do work. Okay, so now it will call, it will say okay, doing work after end
Yeah.
also, right? See, I written end here, but after that again
Yeah.
I'm creating this cow and then calling this cow, right? So doing work, it is calling, right?
Okay.
So you can have this even that show, right? I had written, so you can create that. See, doing something or something like that, right? But this is out of context. I mean, we are not using the animal and all these things, right? So you can remove
Yeah.
this also and let it be, no problem. I'm using the main app to do that. So the question is here, being being an employee, I'm an employee. Being an employee, I'm not supposed to see the salary of others. Suppose it is showing the salary of every employee, right? I don't want other users to show this. I just want to manager to only show that. Getting my point, right?
No, I didn't get your question.
So what I'm telling here, this is a manager class, right? So
Mm-hmm.
this is the functionality of a manager. This means these are the things what a manager can do. Okay, and once I inherit, once the employee inherits the manager, right? That means an employee can also do these works. Okay, suppose one more method is there, something like public void assign work. Now who can assign the work, manager or employee?
Employee can assign the work
No, like generally what happens, your
because
manager assigns your work, right?
they usually manage assign, but this is inherited by employee, right?
Yeah, that is no, just I'm talking about general scenario. Just forget whatever the implement. Yeah, you're right. I mean, employee can assign the work. That is what we don't want now, and that's what we want to achieve
Okay.
it. So as per this, even employee can also assign the work, right? They can call this assign work and assign work to some employee, right? That's what I don't
Yeah.
want. I want an employee to get his date of joining. I want an employee to see the employee details, but I don't want to see their salary. Maybe let it be, let their employees see their salary also, but I don't want to get use of this one. So right now, if I call it here e dot assign work, as you can see, what was the method? Assign work. So as of now, it is telling that manager is assigning the work, which it should not be, right? Because this is the employee object, and employee should not be able to assign the work, right? So I want to make something like that. This method employee can't call, can't access. Okay. So there is something what we can do, and that thing is we can make it as a private.
Okay.
So if I make it private, if I say, okay, no, it's not a public now, it's a private method now, this assign work will have no visibility to this employee class. And as you can see here, it is telling me assign work is a not visible to you. You cannot call this. You
Okay.
can call
So when
other
you run,
methods.
actually, okay.
Yes, you can call other public methods, but you can't call this assign work. And that's how we can achieve this one. So you, even if you make it right, it will give you error, so you can't do that. Your code will not compile if you do this e dot
Assign work.
no, it will not show only. See, if you see e dot a, it's not coming because it's private. So
Okay.
if you forcefully write it,
So,
yeah, tell me.
okay. So what is the purpose now making it private? So who can see it?
Now who can see, right? Manager can have access, right? Manager should have access, right? So what you can do is
Yeah.
you can create the manager object m equals to new
Oh, okay. Got it.
manager, because that is the manager's work, right?
Mm.
So manager, you can create it, and the manager can assign your work m dot, and what is it?
Assign work.
1 second. Yeah, you cannot write this outside this class, so you have to use this inside the manager only. So if you want to call this method, right, this assign work, it has to be done inside this class only. You cannot, the problem with this assign the private, right, whatever the class you are writing, okay, so this method inside this class, so you have to write here only the main method, and you can write something like manager m equals to new manager, and then you can call m dot assign work. So as you can see here,
Okay.
and now if you run it, manager is assigning the work item. And other methods also you can call it m dot uh, see employee salary. And but being a manager cannot have the access to
What if
employee.
you execute main
Sorry,
file?
sorry,
Can you execute main file now?
main file here,
Can you execute it?
this one.
Can you run it?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Can you run this file? Oh, let the manager be.
No, which one you want me to run? This one only, right? Now there are two
Yeah,
main
this is
methods. See,
fine.
I have written main methods inside this main app class main app,
Mm-hmm.
which is creating the employee object and using all the public methods. And in main method also I have written a main, this one, as you can see here. So I can run this separately. I can run a manager class. Just right click,
Okay.
run.
So now my question is like, when you run this particular manager file,
Mhm.
okay, it should also show the public methods, right?
Yes.
The show employee details. So it's not exhibiting here down.
Because I did not run it. See, m dot assign work I ran it. M dot see employee salary as run it. I show employee details. I did not run it. So if I run it, then it will definitely show. Show employee details
Oh,
and
okay,
dot
okay, okay, got it.
get dog. I did not run it, so it will not show, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Understood. Yeah.
Understood, right? So if you run it now, it will run everything. I did not run it. So I have two.
Hmm.
So this is how we can. So that's why I see it's exclusive to manager only to assign the work, right? So that's how you can use these things. So this is what inheritance is all about. The keywords are there, public. A class cannot have a class can be either public or it can be default. So I'll cover this access specifier. I think we have some videos on that. I'll just check it. I think somewhere the documents, converted videos, somewhere I have written this access specifiers. I'll upload that video. You can, yeah, access specifier is there. I'll upload this one. First half of the video contains about this public protected and all, right? So you can just go through that one. You will easily understand. Now this one you understood, right? So you will easily understand that what actually the public private protected does. Okay, so I'll upload it. Actually,
Okay.
I don't have a software where I can split the videos, because this is the JDBC setup, that is advanced Java part, and this is, so when I take consecutive sessions, right, it gets recorded into the same video, and that creates the problem sometimes. So I don't have any software to split it, so I did not upload that. Anyways, so this is all about object oriented programming, OOPS concept. So you should be aware of calling the methods, what are the methods we have defined. This is very much necessary to learn. And the syntax wise, now as you know that class syntax is something like either you can have a public or nothing, and then the class and the class name, and it will have open parenthesis here, and it should have a close parenthesis. Inside that you can write different methods, right? And method has their own signature. So if you say signature of the method, right, so you can have something like the first thing is access specifier. So you need to write either public protected or private, and then the function name, whatever, sorry, then there should be return type, what it will be returning. So right now it's a void, that means it returns nothing. Suppose it needs to return something, sorry, here in manager I've written, right, salary details, right. I will make it int, and I will int salary equal to 5,000. Okay, and I will return salary. So what I'm doing here is I'm telling that, okay, whoever will call this, right, it will get that salary and they can use it for that. They will, so I'm returning that value, I'm returning this salary, whoever is calling to me. So you will see that C employee salary is there, right? So here in main app I'm calling this C E dot employee salary. So I can take that in int sal, okay, and I can print it here. Got the salary as sal. Okay, so as you can see here, what I'm doing is E dot employee salary, when we call it, right, it returns me the integer, that 5,000 rupees, right? So int denotes the integer type, so it should be like 0 to some range, right? So that int denotes that it will be returning type. Suppose it should have been suppose like yeah, date of joining, so it should be string. So string means characters. Okay, so as you can return here something like return dt dot to a string, so it will make into the string and it will return that one. So again, date of joining also you can get it here. So in main app, date of joining, you can have a string doj equal to, and you can, so my doj is doj. Okay, so as you can see, if it is a string type, right, we can have in a string. If it is integer type, we can have on a integer type. So now if you see main app, if I run it, you say your date of joining is this one, and see, that's what no, my data I'll remove from here, not print this value. I'll just comment out. This is how we comment out, double slash if you put it, right, this will not be a part of code. So now if you see, I am starting here inside this showing work item and see my date of joining is this, got the salary as 5,000, showing employee details and end. See, so I'm able to print the value, right? So where did I get from? I get from this method. Okay.
Okay, so my this join is
DOJ, whatever the variable name I have given, right? You can put it here to print it. So this system.println, it takes the string argument, whatever you want to print it, and the variable we put it as a plus sign, and then we can put that value. So same thing here also, got the salary and then SAL. So if you put it as a something like my salary, you need to give that my salary here.
Yeah.
Whatever the variable name you keep it.
So where is this E dot C employee salary? Employee
Sorry?
salary the method again? C employee salary.
So this is inside the manager class. So if you go here, so this is a manager class. Inside the manager class, this is written.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And but you are accessing through which object? Employee. Why? Because employee extends.
So return salary is returning that 5,000 value to the
yes. So
the method C employee salary.
Yeah. So this is the if I say employee salary, right? Salary generally contains the numbers only, right? And that's the reason. Suppose it does the calculation, get it from DB and all these things. It does. Right now, it's not doing. I'm hard coding the value. So whatever the value you have provided, it is returning the same value to you, and it gets returned to your whoever is the caller. So caller is here.
Okay.
So it returned to the caller, and the value what it returns, we can have it as a left hand side assignment operator. This is called the assignment operator. This equal. What it does is whatever value will give this method, it will assign it to the left hand side. So if I give it here a string, it will give me error. It will say that the return type of this is integer, right? But
Yeah.
I'm trying to get it as a string, so it will say no, it can't be. You have to write it as a int only, because I'm returning int. So then only it will work. Got the point, right? So I cannot make it in int, because this is the return type of is a, see, it is telling that type mismatch cannot convert from a string to int, because it is telling that I'm returning you the string, right? You can't make it as a int. Understood, right? Yeah. So this is the syntax what I was telling, right? The syntax of where did I write? Writing somewhere, no? Yeah. So I think I removed it. So that's the syntax. I mean, you should have a access specifier, then the return type, then the method name. Whatever you want to give, you can give. It should be meaningful. I mean, whatever that method does, right? It should be meaningful. A method name, and then the you should be giving bracket, and inside this it can have arguments. Okay, and then the open parenthesis and then the close parenthesis. So this is the syntax. Okay, so return type, it can be of many types. So it can be as you can see here, void, it can be integer, it can be string, and all these things. And the second thing what I have written here is it can take arguments. So arguments means something like, suppose manager wants to do some addition work. Okay, manager or employee want to do some assigned work he has, and he wants to do the addition of two numbers. He needs to do that. Okay, so I will write something like int return type. Okay, add, it will take two numbers. So number 1 comma int number 2. Okay, and then int sum equal to number 1 plus number 2, and then I'll return this sum. So what actually this will do? So it will take two.
So where did you declare sum?
Sorry?
You need to declare sum, right?
Yeah, this is the declaration only. So int sum, right? Whatever.
Declaration as well as calculation. Okay.
Yeah. So you see, it's a two-step. You can do like this and then do like this. So this is like first the declaration, and then I'm using it, or you
Yeah.
can use it at once. So this is similar to that. Okay, you can
Okay.
do that. So so int sum equals to number 1 plus number 2, and whatever the sum has given, so with return statement I'm returning that value. So whoever is call me with these two numbers, integer numbers, 10, 20 or 30, I can put it as a x or y also. There is no, these are the variable names. So understand that variable name could be anything, whatever you want to put it, right? And in main method,
Yeah.
suppose I want to do some kind of calculations. Okay, uh, so in e dot add, so it will be asking me 10, and then I'll give 20, some value I'll give it, so it will return sum, right? So I'll write it int sum equals to, and then I'll, okay, so it'll print me the sum as a 30, right? So what it is doing, it is calling this add with 10 and 20. So 10 and 20 will come here. With add addition operator, it will 10 plus 20, that is 30. It'll put here 30, it will return the 30, and once it returns, it'll come here and it will get stored in this sum, and we are printing that value.
Okay.
Fine, right?
Yeah.
So this is how actually the method works, the function. So in Java, we write everything inside the function only. We do not write anything outside the function. So wherever you will see, right,
Okay.
all these logical things, calling, getting the value and all these things, it has to be written. As you can see, these all codes are also written inside the main method. So main is it has a static keyword. We can see it later. What is that? So see, public void, it returns nothing. It's main, and it takes the string array. So this is nothing but the program, as it's a special method, right? So it takes some argument about the class, what is the class name, and other details it asks for. So that's what it does. Okay, so everything you need to write, you write inside the method only. Okay,
Okay.
you will take 2 3 more sessions to get used to that, but keep watching that videos. It will help you, help you very well. So you can have a look at these videos. It will be easy to these syntax. So if you want to go, you can see this basic concepts. Okay, and then this is very important. You will see that, right? You will understand about the looping and all. So it's just a similar what I will explain right now. It's the same thing explained there also. Okay, you can practice writing the code. You can see this also, the important keywords, and a few things I'll cover it. Okay, whatever thing I think, like, oh, so you need to understand in details and all, right? I'll do that, but if you can see these videos, it will be easy for you to understand that. Fine.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. So I'll wind up the session. Any other questions you want to ask? Something?